Mid Tier Countryside Stewardship agreements are multi-year agreements for environmental improvements in the wider countryside that include multi-year options and capital items. It is a competitive, targeted scheme with funding awarded to those who will make the biggest environmental improvements in their local area. Payment rates in mid-tier are the same as those for higher tier agreements. Mid-tier agreements run for 5 years, and there's a fixed application window with a single start date of the 1st of January. Water capital only applications in mid-tier run for 2 years only. To apply for a mid-tier agreement, you need to order an application pack by contacting Natural England by the 31st of July in 2017. It is important that you have all of the necessary information to hand to speed up the production of your application pack. This video will provide a short summary of all of the information you should have before calling Natural England. Before you request an application pack, it's important that you understand the scheme and you have checked you are eligible for Countryside Stewardship. Find out further information about Countryside Stewardship and download the Mid-Tier Manual from the gov.uk website. Just search Mid-Tier and follow the links. It is important that you are registered on Rural Payments. You can also use the Rural Payment Service to give someone permission to submit an application or manage an agreement on behalf of the applicant or agreement holder. This should be done before submitting your mid-tier form. Agents who are completing mid-tier on behalf of an applicant also need to be registered on Rural Payments. If you are not registered or have any other queries regarding the Rural Payment Service, call 03000 200 301 or search Register for Rural Payments on gov.uk. Once you've decided to apply for a mid-tier agreement and you're registered on Rural Payments, you will need to contact Natural England to order an application pack. We will need some information from you to create your unique application pack, and you should have all of this information to hand when you make the call. You will need your Single Business Identifier, your SBI number, a CPH, and a full list of your OS map sheet references you wish to include in your application. This can be found in your basic payment scheme paperwork. You will need a list of all parcels and field numbers. It is important that you check your land is registered correctly with the RPA. This can be checked using online maps on the Rural Payment Service under View Land. All land parcels where options and capital items are to be located must be registered with the RPA, including areas that may not be eligible for BPS. This can include the following: farmyards, farm buildings, farm bonds that may be sited in a field with a parcel number but may not have a parcel number itself, and fields recently split. To register land, submit an RLE1 form to the RPA, as discussed in the next section of the video. This must be done in good time before you submit your CS application. All land where options and capital items are to be located must also be linked to your SBI. If a parcel is not linked to your SBI, an RLE1 form should be submitted to the RPA to link that land to you. If the person the land is currently linked to still needs that land to be linked to their SBI because they have claimed BPS in 2017, write dual use, maintain link with existing SBI on the front of the RLE1 form. As mentioned earlier, you may need to submit a Rural Land and Entitlements form, RLE1 form, to the RPA to support a Countryside Stewardship application. This form is needed if you need to register land parcels with the RPA for the first time. This may include land that is not eligible for the basic payment scheme, such as farmyards, alter permanent land boundaries, or transfer ownership of land parcels. Complete and submit an RLE1 form to the RPA before you submit your Countryside Stewardship application. Do this in good time before the Countryside Stewardship application window closes to allow time for the land changes to be recorded. Clearly write RDP-CS application on the front page of the RLE1 form. Land not registered by the time your agreement is ready to be issued cannot be included with your final agreement. For information on the RLE1 form and help in completing the form, search RLE1 on gov.uk and follow the links for online guidance. All mid-tier applicants will receive free additional information about the historic environment interest on their land. This information is obtained by Natural England from historic environment organisations when an application pack is requested by the applicant. Their response is contained within the Historic Environment Farm Environment Record, or HEFER. The HEFER should be received within 20 working days of ordering your application pack. It is important that you look at the information provided in your HEFER and take it into account when selecting your mid-tier options. You should then tick the relevant box on the application form to confirm you've reviewed the HEFER. It is the applicant's responsibility to secure all necessary consents or permissions as part of the development of an application. Guidance is provided for each multi-year option or capital item in the Countryside Stewardship Grants tool at www.gov.uk/countryside-stewardship-grants. Applicants should consult this to ensure that they are able to submit a valid application. Submission of an application without the required information will make the application invalid and it will be rejected. The requirements for any consents, permission, exemptions and written advice will need to be identified by the applicant and contact made with the relevant bodies, such as planning consent from a local authority or scheduled monument consent from Historic England, as soon as possible in the application process. Don't forget these take time, so do remember to allow time for any formal decisions to be made. We will not accept your application without them. For examples of permissions, see section 4.7 of the Mid-Tier Manual. Applicants must have control of all of the land and all of the activities needed to meet the requirements of the options and or capital items they select for the full period of the agreement. If you do not have full control of the land and all such activities, you must obtain the written consent of all those parties who have management control of the land for the entire period of the agreement. See section 3.2 of the Mid-Tier Handbook for details. Once you have all the information to hand, you are ready to order your Mid-Tier Countryside Stewardship application pack. Call Natural England on 0208 026 1089. Request an application pack by the 31st of July. Mid-Tier is open for applications from the 10th of March until the 30th of September in 2017. The application pack should arrive within 5 working days, and the Historic Environment Farm Environment Record, the HEFER, should arrive within 20 working days. For information on how to complete your mid-tier application, please see online guidance. Just search mid-tier and follow the links to the application form and the accompanying guidance. This video was made by Natural England. Thank you for watching.